On the last Thursday of every month, Free Logic gives us something new to think about with the state of the game, and the month of May brings two very interesting spoilers. One of these showcases the player quickly switching between different bullets to attack a target dummy. But what if I told you we can already do this? At least, to some extent. No, I'm not gonna tell you that during a fight, you can manually rearrange your ammo slots. I mean you can, but there's a lot of shooting downtime. Instead, remember that ammo is used from two places, your ammo slots, and then your inventory. So if we were to alternate bullets in every slot of our inventory, we could create a pattern that allows us to switch between bullets automatically while firing. So what would we even want to use this for? Well, your first thought might be stacking damaging debuffs, as if we can inflict multiple debuffs at a time, surely we would do a lot of damage. The thing is, there aren't many arrows or bullets that inflict damage and debuffs. I mean, there aren't even any bullets before hard mode that can do that. But we can try this method early on with flaming and frostburn arrows. A couple problems though. These debuffs only last for 3 seconds each, and there's only a 1 in 3 chance to inflict either debuff per shot. Seriously, why is it like this? If I hit something with a lit arrow, surely the thing I hit should catch on fire. So in testing, mixing both of these was barely better than just using frostburn arrows, to the point where it's within the margin of error, so you're more so just doing this for style points. Meaning you could just use frostburn arrows, or just use a different weapon. Let's come back to damage and debuffs later. Instead, we'll shift our focus to a different approach. Crystal bullets are quite unique, as their additional shards deal quite a lot of additional damage. But many enemies in hard mode have high defense, which reduces the damage output of the shards. Meanwhile, Ichor bullets inflict the Ichor debuff, allowing your weapons to penetrate through 15 defense points. So what if we alternated between inflicting Ichor with Ichor bullets and dealing additional damage with crystal bullets? Well, now we're getting somewhere. Let's use the Clockwork Assault Rifle, a low damage fast firing gun dropped from the wall of flesh. Since the Ichor debuff lasts 10 seconds, we can shoot 23 bullets in that time, or 28 bullets with a good reforge. Meaning we'll need to make stacks of 28 crystal bullets, separated by 1 or more Ichor bullets. If we just use one Ichor bullet, we have a decent chance of missing our bullet, meaning we'll have to wait 10 more seconds to try and reapply Ichor. So having more than one Ichor bullet in each stack can greatly reduce the chances of you missing your Ichor shot. You're only limited by the size of your inventory, which if you save 2 slots for your weapon of choice and backup ammunition, you'll have a total of 52 slots available to you, which is about 4 minutes of multi-shot firing. And with our ridiculous looking setup of Ichor and crystal bullets combined against the twins, we can save over 20 seconds compared to just using crystal bullets on their own. Of course we can use this technique with other guns here too, although it is less effective with higher damaging guns since Ichor isn't as helpful for them. Let's try a different example. Imagine you've killed the Destroyer a bunch of times for Hallowed Armor and a Mega Shark, and now you're itching to fight Duke Fishron because you're chill like that. Duke Fishron has 50 defense in his first phase, and 40 in his second, which is a lot, but do note that the Duke sheds all of his defense in the third phase, so inflicting Ichor won't be necessary there. With an Unreal Reforge, we can shoot 100 bullets in 10 seconds, but we'll need to factor in ammo conservation buffs. Since the Mega Shark saves ammo 50% of the time, we'll make stacks of 50 crystal bullets. Saving on ammo has a side effect of sometimes having the Ichor wear off before you can reapply it. You can think of this as a fun new gambling addiction, since it's completely random. Now in practice, I was once again able to shave off 20 seconds with this method, which is quite substantial considering that just 1 or 2 mistakes could spell the end of the fight. Of course, I do want to stress the fact that it does take longer to set this up compared to the benefit you'll gain, as it can be difficult to quickly get the exact stack numbers you want. One tip for this is to hold down the pickup button until you see the number in the 10th digit that's before the one you want, which usually allows me to get stack sizes close to 50 here that I can manually adjust. Now what if there was a crystal arrow? Well, holy arrows are close enough, and they need this even more since the stars only deal a third of the damage. Ichor arrows are our obvious Ichor bullet equivalent, although their higher velocity may be slightly disorienting if you don't have a magic quiver. Let's use the Chlorophyte Shotbow for this example, as it is already a popular choice against Plantera, and is very good with holy arrows. And since Plantera is a shorter fight, we don't need to make as many stacks as we did for the other bosses. But since the Chlorophyte Shotbow is already a higher damaging weapon, we don't get as much of a benefit as we may expect. So, now what? The post-Plantera stage is dominated by rocket launchers, weapons that use their own ammunition or projectiles, and bow or gun weapons that already have higher base damage like the sniper rifle or tsunami. So I'd imagine your strategy would be less effective here. Also, you could instead use other weapons to inflict the Ichor debuff from earlier, like guns, bows, melee weapons, and whips. And eventually you'll have access to Betty's Wrath, which the debuff it inflicts far outshadows Ichor. So let's return to damage and debuffs, as in Harbour we gain access to cursed and venom arrows and bullets. And while these arrows are useful for bows that benefit entirely from higher base damage, what's the point of the bullets, or even the debuffs themselves here? With our method, we could stack Venom with Cursed Inferno for 54 damage per second. Yeah, this can't possibly be worth it, as by the time we get access to vials of Venom, our weapons are now doing at least 20 to 30 times that damage. Some of you also may have considered adding small stacks of Cursed or Venom bullets after your Ichor ones, so you get both the benefits of Crystal Ichor mixing and the damage and debuffs. And I mean, yeah, that's true, but is it really worth sacrificing even more of your inventory to hit one of two eyes with Cursed Inferno for 7 seconds? It does make me wonder how this mixing addition will be implemented though. I'm guessing they'll just make it an accessory that randomly picks ammo from one of your 4 ammo slots, which I mean would replace a technique I've shown in this video for the most part. I'm curious at what point in progression they would introduce something like this though, as if it were introduced post-mech when great ranger accessories are all competing for your attention, I'm not really sure if it would be worth equipping this. Although it would also be very useless to have this in pre-hard mode, since there's very little purpose in switching between the limited amounts of bullets and arrows you have available. Still, I think having the option for this is neat. It makes for a fun twist on a pretty standard ranger class. And being able to automatically randomly pick ammunition would make stacking some debuffs a more valuable technique for the ranger class in regular combat or against events. You know, when you really think about it, this would almost be like a mana flower, but for a ranger, because it automates this process. Right guys? Right? That's all I've got for today. Let me know what you think about this reveal, and if you want to watch more of my videos, you might like this one where I talk about how good the mushroom staff is. A big thank you to my members for sticking around, and thank you for watching.